briefly as to what happened in there.
I'm sorry, there's an interview being given to the chairman, and we can't make any...
Could you just tell us if any decision was reached?
Well, there were decisions reached, but the chairman will give them to you.
All right.
I'm sorry.
What do you mean the next point? You don't know the next plan of action? You don't know what's going to happen?
No, I do not know until we meet this afternoon.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
Of the Credentials Committee.
Yes, I'm C.H. Downs from Louisiana, a member of the Credentials Committee, chairman of our state Democratic Committee.
Would you just tell us the decision that was reached?
Well, the committee, not by unanimous vote, adopted the subcommittee's report, which was made up of 5 different parts. Substantially, it said that they would seat the regular Mississippi delegation if they took the loyalty oath. In addition to that, they agreed to make 2 members of the Mississippi Freedom Party delegates at large. This is really unheard of.
Well, and you apparently the dissent was from the southern members, mainly of the Credentials Committee?
That's correct. Some of the southern members. I don't recall. It was by voice vote.
Would you?
Yes, I voted against.
Would you say there will be some sort of floor fight?
I do not know. Our delegation meets this afternoon at 6:30, and we'll make a decision at that time as to whether or not we stay at the convention.
Was there any indication what Mississippi will do?
No, I do not know. I do not know. They'll have to meet and make that decision themselves.
But it was an unpopular one, of course, in the light of their views, anyway.
I would think so.
When you say it's unheard of, how many conventions have you been at in the history of the convention?
I haven't been at very many conventions, but I think anyone who's been there will tell you that this has never been done before.
Who offered this compromise? Was this the Senator Humphrey proposal?
I don't know. It's a subcommittee proposal.
And, well, that's it. It was passed but not unanimously and opposed by the South.
That's correct.
Right. Thank you very much.
That's it.
The Democratic Party, the only national party in the country, is confronted with. It may not satisfy everybody, the extremes on the right or the extremes on the left. But we think it is a just compromise. We think it is based soundly on the law. We think it clearly recognizes, without compromises, the basic devotion of this party to human rights. And we think it represents and sets the stage for the overwhelming victory of the man who, more than anybody else in the world, represents the cause of justice and law today, President Lyndon Baines Johnson.
Report. Will there be a minority report?
We have no idea. We don't know. Well, what we're submitting here is the report of the Credentials Committee, which will be made tonight to the convention. We don't know.
Could you tell us how many dissented from this?
There was only 3 or 4 no. It was a voice vote.
Will Mr. King and Henry have votes as delegates?
Yes.
Attorney General Mondahl said that this had been worked out between the parties. Does this mean they've agreed to it?
Talked with a lot of people, a lot of individuals of the country, and this is what we've come up with.
But there's been no commitment.
Did Mr. Rauh Did Mr. Rauh attend the meeting?
He did.
Did he indicate his approval of this compromise?
I don't know how he voted.
Governor, will Dr. Henry and the Reverend Mr. King have a vote in the convention?
Yes.
Each 2 votes?
Indicated, as the national chairman will. I think you're absolutely right. Do you want to divide that, or do you want to put them together? No.
Will the Mississippi regular delegation be required to sign the pledge as in the case of the
That's indicated in the report. Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Mike Rowland.
people will be allowed to cast all the votes, even if they don't all sign.
Only, you mean the regular Democratic people?
Delegates who are from Mississippi, the Mississippi delegation, will they be allowed to cast all the votes that that state is entitled to on the convention floor, even if they haven't got that
That's
many
a
delegates?
technicality that I'm just not clear on.
Congressman, are you satisfied with the decision in the committee?
A roll call vote was asked for in committee, but there was
20% together.
well, it was insufficient number of people requested the roll call.
Congressman, I gather you're satisfied with this compromise.
I do not like to call it a compromise. I don't think it is a compromise. I think it's a great victory in many ways. There are some minuses about it, but I think that there are more pluses than there are minuses. I rather call it an alternative proposal, and I believe that in the long run and in the short run, people are going to realize the significance of its provisions.
Do you feel the Mississippi Freedom Party is satisfied with this solution?
Well, I'm not a spokesman for the Mississippi Freedom Party people. I can merely say that I think that this is a great leap forward with respect to their objectives.
How about the Edith Green idea? Will she? You think she might be carrying this to the floor?
Well, there was an indication in comments that she made that she either was thinking about filing it or trying to get enough signatures to file it.
Would you support her if she goes to the floor?
No, Michigan will go along with the majority report in this situation.
All right, thanks, Congressman.
Congressman John Kelly, ABC. I have a comment.
That's in all states.
Would the commission have any enforcement provisions? Would it have any enforcement powers?
It would, in the first, would be in the nature of a community relations service. It would work for the state Democratic parties, but I think that the parties would quickly see that this committee was not only required, but to report to the Credentials Committee 4 years from now. And if there was clear evidence of a closed and a discriminatory political party process, I think they could expect that they would be challenged, and if the facts were justified to charge, that there'd be a good chance they wouldn't be seated. And the law is there. The problem as I see it this time is that however strong the case of the Freedom Democratic Party, and I think in terms of proving a closed party, proving a practices of discrimination, it was a very strong case. But they were weak on the law. And as one that believes much in civil rights, I think we, more than anybody else, ought to proceed on a sound legal basis and not on the basis of some emotional strength or majority rule that we can push across. Because if we push it across without a legal basis, it can be taken away from us later using the same methods. I think we want to proceed on the basis of law and win our cause in this way.
Mr. Mondahl, do you have any advance indication of how the Mississippi Regular Democratic Party, the regulars, will take to this?
No, I do not. I do not. I hope they'll remain seated because we tried to come to a conclusion that would permit the loyal Democrats in the South to stay with us. We're not trying to intimidate them. We're not trying to abuse them. We want them. And one of the most exciting aspects of this duty that I've had on the subcommittee, as far as I'm concerned, is to get to know the Southerners better. They're decent, honorable people who many of them are as deeply committed to human rights as some of the advertised civil rights leaders in the North, and many of them are progressive who are trying to reach the same open type of society that we want, but they're working under the special difficulties of the traditions and the laws of the South. And we are a national party. We have to and we are the only national party, and that gives us special problems in dealing with the South. And we have to strengthen the hands of the loyal Democrats so that they can fight off the attacks of the extremists in the South who really want Goldwater, because this is going to create a stronger nation. It's going to strengthen the chances of electing President Johnson, who, as far as we're concerned, is a magnificent public leader. And we think that this is the responsible way to proceed.
As a practical matter, Mr. Mondahl, how do you expect national committeemen who are in the South, who are very, very strongly opposed to these type of recommendations as judged by their past action, How do you expect these people who actually control the state delegations and the state political machinery to come around to this?
Well, let me say that several of the Democratic leaders in the South rose and said that this proposal was not wholly satisfactory to them, but they thought it was a good faith settlement that they were going to try to live with. For some years now, the national committeemen from the various southern states, along with the northern states, have signed assurances that they would support the national ticket, and I really believe that we're making
before, haven't they?
the national committeemen. That's right.
They signed them before. And
Some have. Some haven't.
Well,
Why